Hey everybody, welcome back to Works on My Machine, where I share demos of open source projects that I've been putting together to really push on what AI makes possible and to learn how best to work with these things, work with LLMs. And so for today's demo, I'm going to share with you this agent I put together to do this testing process that Kent Beck shared back in 2018 called Test and Commit or Revert or TCR. And the idea is that you write the tests, you write the code, you run the tests, and then if they pass, you make a commit, and if they fail, you revert all your work and you start over. And so I thought of this back when I first started to realize that LLMs tended to do better the smaller you broke the problems down, and found myself, getting outside of my own comfort zone, being a programmer that already, practice breaking functions apart, breaking things down, doing a lot of those types of refactors. Kind of finding myself getting pulled in a direction of even smaller than I would naturally do, and thought that this process where there's positive reinforcement and negative reinforcement, as a way to help learn what works best with an LLM. Because if I write the tests, the LLM writes the code, and it passes, I got it about right. But if it fails, I have something to learn. I either need to rethink my approach to the problem, or I need to break it up smaller. I need to do something different, because you can kind of think about the tests. You can already think about tests as prompts when you're programming as in a TDD fashion. It's a prompt for you to tell you what code to write. It's the same with an LLM. This is the code that you want the LLM to make pass, and if it's clear, the LLM should be able to write it. But let's see, in this post, Kent also says, if you don't want a bunch of code wiped out, then don't write a bunch of code between greens. And I think in a similar fashion, an agent like this, where if you don't want a bunch of tests wiped out, don't write a bunch of tests between greens. Break the problem up, make it small, and you can grow the solution over time. I haven't found any more recent writing about TCR, but Kent has started a Substack, and hopefully there's going to be a TCR post coming soon. But also, Kent, if you end up watching this video and do decide to do TCR with an LLM kind of like this, I would love to hear how it goes for you and how that feels. But with that, let's jump over to show a little bit of it. I'm not going to do a full demo of this because doing a whole process is much longer than these short videos. But I am planning Sunday, March 9th, right around 3 p.m., going to try to do a live stream of going through a couple problems. And so you can see much more the process. I will share the link out in this post or wherever you find it, and on social media. But there will also be a recording if you're watching this much later. I tend to do advent of code for these types of problems as they lend themselves well to getting a chance to do some modeling, some testing, and there's a defined answer that you're looking for. And so this one here is day 4 of the most recent advent of code, where you're doing the problem is to find the string XMAS in essentially like a word search puzzle, and you want to find it horizontally, you want to find it forward, backward, up, down, and diagonally. And I've already done a little bit of this setup in a TCR fashion, where I write the tests for loading the file, and got it to load the file in and just verify that it's loaded the file in correctly. But to show you an example here of, say we want to try to just one-shot this problem and just jump right ahead to, okay, how many Xmas strings are in there? Maybe we're even naive with the way that we write this test of just give me the number of strings. We don't give it any information. And so we go ahead and save, and have a hotkey set up in Z to run this TCR command. It comes back, the test failed. It just did, it tried to do a regular expression against the row for Xmas, and the test failed. Got 3, it expected 18, and the test failed. Press F to pay respects. I have this set up where there's a confirmation step because I found that, when I get it wrong, I want to get some feedback of like, how did I get it wrong? Not just like, hey, the code's gone, start over, what did you do? So I found this actually being very useful of like, okay, it looks like this prompt over here of describe this, it should return this, made the LLM think, okay, we just need to do that. So I need to break this problem up, and I need to describe this better. So we press F, the code goes away, and we have to start over. And you can imagine how painful that is if you have 20 tests and then get it wrong. Yeah, if you'd like to see more of this, it will be up on YouTube and along with where these videos are, so you should be able to find it. If not, reach out to me on any of the channels that on Substack, on LinkedIn, on Twitter, on Discord. But real quick, just to walk through what the code actually does. So what we do is we get the changes that are in the Git repository. We use a generator to take the changes, the files in the test directory and the implementation directory, and we get back a list of file paths and file contents that we need to update, and then we have this big prompt which explains what we're doing. Here are all the files, etc., etc. And no need to worry about reading all of this right now. All this code is available on Sublayer on GitHub at sublayerapp/tcr_agent. Got the implementation generator. We've got the array of files. We update all of the files. We run the tests. If the tests pass, we get all the changes again and generate a commit message, and or we get all the changes again because we've made changes to the implementation. We generate a commit message with those changes, and then we commit. If not, here's the test failed and the confirmation step and revert. But that's everything. And if this seemed interesting to you, I'd love for you to kind of join me on the live stream and chat. Or if you try this out, love to hear your experience with it. But yeah, I feel like I've found this to be a really good way to learn how better to structure my code so that LLM can actually be used to write code that I can use immediately. Not only because I'm writing smaller functions and it's one-shotting it, but also because they're tests and I know exactly what I want. So I'm writing the test first, and I told this to somebody recently, and they're like, this is called, what we were doing was called RSpec, and it's specification. So it's the specification for the code you want, which you're giving to the LLM, and it's generating the code. Now I'm just rambling. But if you made it this far, thank you so much. Again, subscribe to worksonmymachine.substack.com. And looking forward to hearing if you try this out or makes you think of anything. Love to hear from you. Thanks for watching this far.